Okay, we've been taking our old stuff and turning it into new stuff. And I've been doing several videos on jewelry making, taking your polymer clay pieces and turning them into necklaces and earrings and things. But I want to show you how I start out and what I do. This is a takeout container. My family knows to save every takeout container, no matter what size, as long as it has a good lid, and don't throw it away before I look at it. That's just the standard rule. But when you have the large ones like this, they stack on top of each other, and this has a flip over lid. So we save all of these, and we save all of the little cups and lids and things. We save it all. So it stops me from having to buy things. So this was a collection that I had. Now let's minus the beads and all of the gold. This set is 3/4 of the way done. But all of this came from one cane. And as you can see here, this was the kaleidoscope cane. And it was quite simple, but I liked it and I liked the colors. So when I was finished doing whatever I was doing with it, I just put some slices together. And then, and this is the original size of the cane. I think I used it smaller. I think I reduced it and did it smaller. And these were just 2 of the pieces. And I just did them a little bit differently. I took some, I think it was 24 gauge wire that actually was a dark blue-green color. It's an artistic wire, and this is 24 gauge. And it's just a really thin wire. And I threaded my beads on it to make the curve at the end. It's trying to focus on everything else, isn't it? To make the curve on the end, and then I just put a simple gold wire on the top. And these are put in with the eye screws, which we've done. And I just took the ends to a little jump ring so it would dangle. So it dangles. Now this is the matching pendant, and so far I'm not sure what I'm doing with it, so it's going to stay like that. I'm going to show you the difference. I put Deep Shine. It's a UV brush on resin from Tiny Pandora, specifically developed for polymer clay. And it's great on round and curved surfaces. You can use it on flat surfaces like I did this. But it's wonderful on beads and things. But this is the difference in the shine. I don't put resin on the back of earrings and necklaces. So this is just raw clay. And this is the Deep Shine. And you can see the difference in the shine on that. And the same thing with this one. I mean, that's a wonderful shine on there. And this side still has all the color and everything you need. But it's just not shining. So those are some things that I started working on to get some idea of where I'm going with them. So when I clear off my workspace and I have all these scraps of things sitting around and I start making these beads or Natasha beads or cut out hearts, anything I have up on my table, I go on and cut out the majority of it. And this is another cane. You can see it better here. And I have no idea what I originally made it for, but I had enough left over to get a pendant and some earrings. And I had a bunch of beads. Let me set these down and get all these beads I made. squash circular beads, the spirals. Haven't put deep shine on them yet because I'm not sure what I'm doing with these. They're big and bulky and it needs something big and bulky to carry it out. I have several just round balls, little beads. And I've been playing with wire wrapping to see about it. This is another artisan wire. It's a blue shade because there's a light blue in this cane. And I thought that possibly could be an earring, but I don't know. We'll get back to the wire wrapping part later. But I was just playing around with that one night while I was watching TV. Okay, so we have all of our colors in here. I go to my bead stash. And I keep my beads in these little cups. You can get them at the Dollar Tree really, really cheap. And I label them. And then I put them in one of those plastic stackable drawers. And one drawer will hold quite a few beads. But I go in and I pull out the colors that I think that I may be using. And one I think would match. Now this selection I'm pulling out now is for the lighter pinks. And it has some dark blue in there. Let me see if I can't get you back in. There we go. It has the dark blue beads that would match this dark blue in the cane. These are a light green. There's some very light green in here. These are some blue crystal type beads, but I'm not sure I want that. The rest of them are more of a pearlescent type bead. And I don't think I want to shine with this. There's some purple in here. So I have 3 different colors of purple beads in this box in little bags. Well, actually I have 4. I have 4 colors of purple in here. So you can see one of these little containers holds quite a few beads. And each drawer holds quite a few beads. This was a pink, and it's a dusty rose type pink, which is not in, well, there's a couple of places in the cane where it goes together that there is this color, but not enough to use these. Now this is how I make my decisions of what I'm using. This little bag is full of silver. I think these things are called rondelles. They're little circles with crystals on the sides of them. And this box had some odds and end beads in it. Some of them were really cool. This is a lampwork type bead. And this is a glass. But this brought me to more sparkle, which I didn't want. And then these are circles that have the larger rhinestones in them. And that was a large one. And then I had 2 smaller ones. And I thought, oh, a pendant and a necklace. I mean, a pendant and earrings. And I thought, well, we'll see. So I wasn't quite sure about that. But I wasn't throwing that one out. That could be a possibility. Then I have all sorts of metal beads that I keep around close. And these are spacers in all different sizes. Some of them are super silver and some of them are more like an antique silver. I've got those. And at this point, I'm not liking the green. There's not enough green in here to pull out the green. So I eliminated the green. And we eliminated the sparkle beads. I'm still not sure about the blue ones yet. So let me move these aside. And I'll show you where these beads came from. Now this is the bracelet, and it's my tube bead. It's a tall end cap, and I actually super glued it on after I beaded it. They would hold on, but I wanted it centered because the hole in my tube bead was quite large, so I didn't want that to be seen. So these are just different colors, the purpley cranberry color and the hot pink and the turquoise. All of those colors were in there. Had some white in it, so I put a white bead in between each one just to lighten it up a little bit. And to match the earrings, I had a heart that was cut out, and it is domed, and I just strung it on the wire that I used on the bottom of the earrings on the other one, because these were the same color, so they matched. And I just put the jump ring in my little eye screw here on the end, right there, and attached my wire and wrapped my wire. We did that in the last video. Strung my beads, and I was trying to keep the center focused on the teal. Now on this end, that's where I stopped because I'm not sure what I want to do. I'd like to do gold chain, but my gold chain is really fine, and I think it may be too fine for this weight of a necklace. So we're just going to lay this one aside, and we'll come back to it when we get back to the cane pendant over there. And the earrings, I just wired them, did the wrap loop, and put the jump ring onto the eye screw that was in my heart, and then added the ear wire on the end. And I still have two tube beads left, and I'm not giving up the idea of making earrings this way, lengthways, and they would hang lengthwise, but I'm still working on that idea, because what good's two beads that matches something else gonna do me? Okay, so let's set these darker blue aside for right now. And I kind of like the teal as a main focal color, but I'm not sure that I like it that teal. I mean, that teal's really pretty, but it's really bright. If you compare it to these other blue beads I have. Well, if I can get them side by side. Okay, so I've got both of my bluish beads. These, I think, are just a tad bit too teal and bright. These have, I don't know what kind of finish on them, but they're more of a matte bead. And they match this other blue that's in here a lot better than these bright teal ones. So we're going to put the bright teal ones away. And we're going to use these blue ones. Now, it's going to be earrings and a pendant. Oops. Just slicky slid right down there, didn't it? Okay. So, let me get what we're going to work on out of here and put all this other stuff aside and I'll be right back. After playing around for a while, this is what I came up with. And I decided to use this bluish bead here in the center on the pendant. And at some point, I guess before I even baked these, I pre-drilled some holes in every place. So I guess I knew where I was headed with this. I've just forgotten, it's been so long. But I went with the original holes and things to see what I could come up with. And these are going to be set this way. I don't know if I can get them to set up like this. And just like the earring, there were two holes. There were two holes right here and right here. I put the tiny eye screws in. And then I put a little jump ring on. A little one this size. And I had taken a eye pin and strung these beads on there. And that's the blue one and the pink crystal ones, the little rings. I counted out 11 pieces of chain for my outside, 5 pieces of chain for my inside. Put all of those together. Now you've got to do your outside and then the chain that your bead's hanging on, and then the other side in your jump ring in that order so it'll set straight. And then I connected my ear wire to the jump ring. And I thought it turned out fairly cool. Now why did I do it that way? Normally I don't do a lot of chain, but I like it. And I saw this silver chain up on my shelf and I thought, you know, that would work with that. So before I get to the pendant, let me go to this earring. Here's the bottom of my earring and my eye screws. I put in a small jump ring and hooked that side of the chain to the eye screw and the jump ring. Now do that on both sides. I've already got my bead made, and I bring these up. I have a larger jump ring right here, and I hook the bead to the chain with a small jump ring and bead my outside chain, my beading chain, and the other outside chain in that order on my larger jump ring, and then hook it to the earring wire. So that's done. We'll do that one. But I wanted to lay it out and show you. Some people commented they like the way that I lay things out so you can see them. Okay, so this is not how I was going to do this. Let me get this right in here. Let me back out just a little bit. Okay, here's my pendant piece. And there was 2 holes, so I inserted 2 eye screws right off the bat. I was going to hang this piece this way and have chain coming up holding this bead in the center like I just did on the other one with the smaller beads. And here's the glass bead, and these are larger pink rings with the rhinestones in them. And my intention was to put my chain in here and take it up, put it in one place in the center here, just like I did with the earrings. But when I turned it over to drill the holes out here, I noticed there was 2 holes there, and I thought, oh, I bet those line up. Well, yes, of course they do. So I thought, now what? So I thought, well, that wouldn't be too bad. But how am I going to get all this connected and put it two sides like the earrings, because I thought it'd look cool having two pieces of chain coming up with this ball configuration in the center, and then take chain out this way, and then maybe later on make some little beads in these colors and just add to the chain every now and then. So we'll see about that. But what I found out when I was playing around here with this chain, these holes in these beads are large enough that I can run this chain through twice. So I can take one side and go up through all of the beads and hook it with a jump ring onto here. I can take the other side, run it through the same side, the chain through the same beads, hook it down here, and then when I get up here I can hook the chain this side to this side, this side to this side, and this bead combination should be sitting right here in the center of this. So it's the same principle as the earring, but it's going to have chain going up through it. So that's why I decided to keep the earrings with so much chain on them, which I normally wouldn't do, but I think they look cool. I usually do more beading on something, but you know, I just thought this looked nice, and that's where I'd stop. So let me get all this done, and I'll come back and show you the finished piece. Just wanted to share with you what I did. This is the one with the canes and the blue beads, and I put the little pink rondelles on the blue bead and strung them that way and brought it all up into a point on the end. And I basically did the same thing with the necklace. I had my two holes, and I put my chain in. I run my chain through both of these, and I had to adjust my chain on each end. I had to take one link off one side and one link off another side to get it to be even though my chains started out at the same size and the same length. Where they went through those beads, they kind of got twisted up some. So I lost a link on each side, but that's okay. In order to keep this bead here and not going back down the chain, I super glued it to this blue bead, because the hole was large enough to where both pieces of chain fit in there, and the blue one was a little bit snug, so the blue one wouldn't come down anymore, and the pink one wouldn't stay up there. So I super glued it, and I tried first to put a jump ring right here in the links on the chain to hold it together, so maybe that pink bead would stay there, but it didn't. It made it slide down more because I brought it in and made it skinnier. So that's when I decided I'd super glued the beads together. And I think I am going to just run chain up both of these side pieces to the back, and maybe add, I don't know, 3 or so of these little type beads, depending on how many pink rondelles I have. I may have to come up with something else if I add anything. But since this has a lot of chain on it and in it and to it, I don't think a lot of chain going up the side is going to hurt whatsoever. So one more thing I'd like to show you in this video. I finished the 2 bead on the peacock necklace. So let me get it and show you what I did with it. Let me show you what I come up with on this peacock necklace that's in my other video that we had the bead, the 2 bead, and I kept looking at placing it horizontal, And when I was folding up my felt last time, this bead, the necklace was laying on here, and the bead just like turned over and ended up this way. And I thought, well, that looks pretty cool. Maybe we should just hang it downwards and put a fringe coming out of it. So that's what I did. I took wire and I made me a loop. Let me come in on this one. Took a wire, and this is a 22 gauge wire. Made a loop at the end, and I had these two open loops right here from the necklace stringing, and I connected all three of them with a jump ring, and that gave me a way to hang this down. I put that big gold ball down, and I'm going to have to super glue it in there. And on the other end of this, I put you can barely see it right there at the end, I put another hoop, and then I just cut this fine gold chain in 4 different lengths, added onto a ball pin a just little 6mm seed beads that match the colors within the necklace. There we go. That's what it looks like finished. And I'll put a clasp on the back, and this one will be done and over with. And the only other one we have to still look at is that hexagon cane, pretty greenish blue and dark pink, rose pink pendant, the big one. So until next time, thanks for watching so much. I hope you're getting something out of these, and I'm giving you ideas on how to get things strung and finished and not just sitting around. And this becomes really fun, as well as making the pieces. Just get into it a little bit, because this can get real creative too. So thanks for watching. Blessings.